the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
You better buckle up. You better strap on that seatbelt and hope that no one straps one on you from the backside. Folks, it is the Friday free-for-all. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. I got to leave a little bit early to do some family stuff. So sorry, there will be no Q&A, no questions on this free-for-all. But I tell you what, we got some stuff to talk about. I'm going to lay into it right off the bat, folks. 3 U.S. intelligence officials have told somebody that the Biden information about Russia and Ukraine was made up. Now, they didn't tell me. They didn't tell some right-wing lunatic media. They told NBC News this, folks, that the, quote, intelligence that Biden released on Ukraine and Russia, it was made up. They just made that shit up. That's right, folks. Not only are they using propaganda on us, they're admitting it now, right? They casually admitted, folks, that when Biden said Russia was planning a false flag operation as a pretext to invade Ukraine, that was just made up. The claims of chemical weapons and Russia asking China for help, made up. Folks, how much was made up that we don't know about? Was every last thing made up? Biden, was everything made up? Was the attack on the nuclear power plant, was that story made up? Was it bullshit? Was it a false flag? There was a fire started by Ukrainians? How about the atrocities of people killed civilians? Was that made up? I question the narrative, folks. I question their facts. I would love to challenge these people to a duel a la Mazo. I would like to have a trial by combat with these clowns. Unbelievable, folks. Now, let's have some more fun with the media, right? Brian Stelter, the fake news loser at CNN, he was confronted by a student, folks. A student. And he made Brian look like an amateur. And I'm guessing the student had facts, intelligent thought. You bet, folks. People are fighting back. That's what a free-for-all is about, folks. Fight back. Fight back. Say what needs to be said. Stop being afraid of what people say, what people think. It's your life. It's our freedom. We need to fight back for it. Now, in New York, the Attorney General, Letitia James, is petitioning a judge to hold Trump in contempt and fine him $10,000 for every day he refuses to turn over documents. Now, okay, Letitia, you got a case there. Make your case. I want to ask a question. How about every day, every week, that James Comey of the FBI withheld information and lied, withheld papers? How about every day that Ruby Rod Rosenstein lied and withheld papers? How about every day that Andrew McCabe lied and withheld papers? How about Peter Strzok, the evil elf, every day that he lied and withheld papers while Congress had them subpoenaed? Not just an attorney general of one state, but the United States Congress subpoenaed paperwork from the FBI, and they stonewalled, dragged their feet, lied, and when they did put papers out, they were blacked out. They were redacted. Makes me piping hot mad. You bet, folks. No worries there. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Unbelievable. Now, I want to just cover this real quick. I want to get this off my chest. America? No, it's done. Washington, D.C. is no longer American. The people that serve there? No. Ketanji Brown Jackson has been confirmed to the Supreme Court of the United States. She is now a SCOTUS member. a hard left, socialist, communist type is now on the Supreme Court. Unbelievable. She has a history of allowing children, predators, pedophile types, folks, have light sentences. How? Lighter than even what the prosecutors asked for. Unbelievable, folks. She couldn't define what a woman is. Miss Ketanji Brown Jackson, Your Honor, can you tell us the difference between a man and a woman? What's a woman? Define a woman. Well, I'm not a biologist, so I can't do that. Really? Really? So if you can't even figure out the difference between a man and a woman and describe what a woman is, how can you be expected to listen to a complex legal argument with respect to the Constitution and the limitations set forth if you can't even figure out the definition for a woman? What a bunch of lying sacks of shit every last senator that voted for that was. Liars, yeah. They lied when they took their oath of office to defend and uphold the Constitution. They've done no such thing. Not at all, folks. You want some more Friday free-for-all? More than 150 financial transactions involving Hunter Biden, folks, and his brother James were flagged by U.S. banks. Flagged. You know what that's called? It's called suspicious activity. Anything that is suspicious financial activity, folks, you're supposed to do something about it. Where's the IRS now? Where's the Security and Exchange Commission? Where's the FBI on this, folks? Where's FinCEN? FinCEN is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. FinCEN. You're supposed to have a suspicious activities report filed out on a FinCEN paper at a bank. Why didn't the banks freeze his assets upon so much suspicious activity? I mean, did they have to wait till they had 3 or 4 suspicious transactions? Folks, there are people who try and make a PayPal donation, and their funds are upheld because it's suspicious. A $5 donation, folks, a $3 donation. This looks mighty suspicious. Freeze that account. This guy, daddy's boy, Hunter Biden, can have 150? I mean, after 5, how about 10? Okay, 25 suspicious transactions, Hunter. We're going to have to freeze your account. We've notified FinCEN and the IRS, the Securities and Exchange Commission, to find out what you're doing and if it's okay. Okay, 25 is too soon? Too soon? How about 50? 75, 100, 125? How about 150? Nope. Unfreaking believable, folks. And this includes big ass, large, immense wire transfers. I mean, who knows how many times you walked into a freaking bank with a suitcase full of cash and said, I'd like to deposit this in my bank account. Yeah, my dad gave it to me. Unbelievable, folks. Unfreaking believable. And bam, as predicted here on the Prepared Mind channel, it's now confirmed. It's double confirmed. It's triple confirmed. China is now buying Russian coal and Russian oil with the Chinese yuan. No more petrodollar. It's done. Put a fork in it. It's over. It's cooked. China, the world's largest economy by many measures, or the second largest by other measures, on par with the United States of America as far as GDP, gross domestic product. China is now buying its energy, folks, from Russia. Now get this. The United States has its own oil. China does not. They have to get it from somewhere else. And they're going to get it from the best, cheapest place, Russia. They don't have their own oil in China, folks. They've made deals, of course, with Is it Nigeria or Niger? They've made deals with them. They've made deals with the Russians. They go around. They don't need the US dollar anymore. You know what that means? Yeah. The petrodollar is on its way out. Unbelievable, folks. As predicted, the moment they said, yeah, we're going to sanction Russian oil, I was like, yeah, that's going to stop the Chinese. Fucking morons, right? Now get this. Let's add on to that. Russia, folks, their April oil output has dropped the most in 2 years, right? And that's going on even as cargoes of Far East crude sell out. So what? The Russians are pumping less oil, even though Far East oil is selling out? Well, are we hurting Russia, folks? I'm going to submit that it's not even in the least. Russia's tanks are all full. Last week, they reported that they've had surplus oil getting sent into storage drums, kind of like the Strategic Oil Reserve. Every container that can hold crude oil in Russia is topped off. They're fine, folks. They have all the energy they need for themselves. Now, Russian oil output for April has dropped to the most in 2 years. Who is this going to hurt? By dropping its production, it won't hurt itself. It has all the oil it needs for itself in Russia. Well, it's lowered its production. Maybe it only needs to meet its needs for China and India and a couple other nations. Folks, by cutting its oil and not shipping it to anywhere on the planet, Russia creates an even tighter supply market, an even more constrained supply market, making rising oil costs go up through the roof for everybody, especially the United States and Europe, the European Union. Who is hurting who? If Russia is getting record high prices by discounting its oil to China and India and a few others, while maintaining all the energy it needs for itself, it can just cut back production. And it's making as much money as it made before. The prices double. As much money. And who's going to get hurt? Well, the United States and Europe. Well, but wait, the rest of the world too. The rest of the world is having to pay higher oil prices, higher energy prices, which results in inflation on food and other needed goods. The cost of transportation, the cost of energy, electricity, going through the roof. And whose fault is this? Who's to blame? Russia, Russia, Russia. You bet. Let's blame Putin and Russia by sanctioning him, sanctioning the Russian people, kicking Russians out of restaurants, Russians out of schools. In fact, the other day, folks, I went into a bar/restaurant, and it was a Mexican food establishment. And I said, I'll have a Jack and Coke. And the waitress looked at me. I said, vodka and Coke? And she goes, oh, you're Russian, huh? I was like, yeah, I'm Russian. It's like, only water for you. I was like, the ignorance abounds. Ignorance was incredible. Folks, everyone is going to be hurt over this except Russia and their friendly countries. Everyone else is going to suffer. They think they're hurting Russia. Russia's cheap-ass oil and cheap-ass gas is only for the Russian people. You bet, folks. Now, it gets better. It is the free-for-all Friday. After China, folks, afterwards, after China threatened forceful measures over Taiwan and the visit, Nancy Pelosi was supposed to go over there, folks. But after Taiwan said there's going to be forceful measures, suddenly Pelosi says, I'm testing positive for cerveza bug. I'm going to have to postpone my trip. Two things here. Nancy was probably going to seal up business investment, business deals, not really helping America, probably just herself. Right? And all the rhino Republicans and all the rhino losers there and the Democrats, they're cashing in or the selling out of America. Right? That's number one about this. So she doesn't get to go. And two, if Nancy did not know that China was going to up its game and threats, That to me is evidence that the lowly Speaker of the House is much lower than she thinks. And she isn't on top level understanding of what's going on. And all she's doing is just selling out the country on the go. That's it. Just selling out the country, making her money. But China says, hey, you're not going there. So she's like, yeah, okay, I won't go there. Right? She's not top level, folks. When China makes a threat and she bows down, she's not top level. She doesn't know what China thinks or says, right? All she cares about is running around the country, running around the world, enriching herself. And three, I said there's two things, but number three, Nancy, like all wealthy types, folks, will play both sides in a war, in a conflict. Invest in both sides of a war to profit off of both. And if one loses catastrophically, they can claim to be an investor ally and seek asylum there, away from the destroyed nation and its angry citizens. That's how the game is played by the rich, folks. It's always been played that way. Unbelievable. What do we got going on, folks? Babylon Bee. Little humor for your Free-for-All Friday. The Babylon Bee CEO said Elon Musk called him to confirm their suspension, right, from Twitter before taking his stake. In other words, right, Musk reached out to them before he polled his followers about Twitter's commitment to free speech. Twitter's commitment to free speech, right? He wanted to confirm, right, that Babylon Bee had been suspended. Right? After hearing that from Babylon Bee, from them personally, they'd been suspended, right? He says that Elon Musk made a joke. Basically, he mused that he might have to buy Twitter. Right? Now he's the largest shareholder, folks, and he has a seat on the board of directors. Isn't it interesting that we're supposed to believe Twitter is all powerful, that it's so huge, Twitter is, that it's unstoppable, and that its influence is so great that it can silence anyone and promote whoever it wishes. Guess what, folks? I would just love it if Elon Musk opened Twitter up. Opened them up like a frog on the autopsy table to see what's inside and what makes it tick. And to give free speech back to everyone. And then we'll see, folks. We'll see after years and years. It's been years that I have been suspended, constrained, given strikes, shut up, back roomed, back shelved, back cornered, put behind a curtain, wearing a dunce hat in the corner of YouTube and other social media. Punished for having an opinion. Punished for wanting to tell the truth. And we're all punished by free speech, folks, because it's not about me being able to talk. It's about any of us being able to hear the opinion of others. After 5 years of being stepped on, 5 years, folks, I've been stepped on by YouTube and others. If they take their feet off our neck and we had free speech again, if their algorithms had to allow us to be heard as readily as anyone else, if your thumbs up were allowed to matter the way they should, as they do on any left-wing junky piece of shit channel, we would be 1 million subscribers strong, because everybody would hear about us, because we're so strong with thumbs up, with people who come in and watch the whole show, not a 2-minute chicken shit opinion, not a 30-second look at this cat with yarn thing. Real content, real thinking, a real show. It'll be amazing, folks. Maybe Elon Musk will buy a controlling interest in YouTube. Wouldn't that twist a few titties, if you'll pardon the expression, that I shouldn't have to ask permission to use? Oh yeah, folks, I've had it with these people. It's time for us to peacefully protest and peacefully fight back. Unbelievable. Now I absolutely love, and we talked about this, how Governor DeSantis in Florida is sending all of his illegals that have been dumped in his state, the illegal aliens, criminals. They're criminals. They're here illegally. He's going to dump them in Delaware. And the governor of Texas, God bless him, Governor Abbott, he's going to send our illegals from Texas all the way to Washington, D.C. on a charter bus and dump them off. Right? Well, Jen Psaki confirmed that Joe Biden is giving these illegal aliens free smartphones. That means you paid for them. The government is borrowing money and saying you, your children, and your grandchildren will pay them back with interest. That's right, folks. They're letting them in. They're giving them phones. They're giving them money. They're giving them places to live. Well, I tell you what. I think sending them to D.C. is a great idea, and sending them to Delaware is a great idea. And not just any part of Delaware. You know, Mac, the Delaware Patriot, he probably won't appreciate them showing up on his door. But I think they ought to be dropped off in Joe Biden's neighborhood, the city of Joe Biden. Let them feel it. I love it. I think it's a great idea. I tell you what, they ought to be sent to Nancy Pance's house and dropped off and said, look at the vast expanse of grass and lawn and beautiful trees and shrubs. This is all yours. Welcome to America. This is the Pelosi plantation. Enjoy. You bet, folks. And they ought to send them to Chuck Schumer in New York City and Mitch McConnell, wherever the fuck Mitch McConnell's from. They ought to send them there to Mitch's house because rhinos need love too. Good golly, folks. I love it, folks. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, now we're cooking with Crisco. Send those illegals to say thank you personally to all those people. Thank you for sponsoring us in Patreon, folks. Thank you. You're $2 a month. Some of you do $3 or $5 or more or whatever. It's all appreciated. It's all needed. Thank you for sponsoring us, for supporting us. The hard work that we do, it's rewarding to know that it's worth paying for. And I believe it is. We're subscribed to many channels also because we believe it's important to support one another in this struggle, this massive fight for freedom and liberty, to get truth out, to get facts out, to get opinions out, to allow us to exchange opinions. Chance favors the prepared mind. I want you to have a great weekend. And remember, we won't be doing Sunday Night Live. We'll be doing Monday Night Live. My weekend is going to be full of family fun. And consequently, I'm going to be too exhausted. If I get back, it'll be probably too late on Sunday. I want you guys, though, to have a great weekend. Contemplate what it is that needs to be done. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Contemplate your plan. Get some action, folks. Get some exercise. Get some training. Get some trigger time. Put your plan into action. Test your prepper chow, your ability to cook it. Test your house without the power being on. See if you can do well. See if you can excel. Test your solar equipment. Test your emergency radios. Test your preparation. Put yourself to the test, folks, now to figure out what you need to be better at. So when the real test gets here, when SHTF hits your street, your city, you'll be prepared. Hey, preparation, right? It favors the prepared mind. Thank you for coming to this free-for-all Friday. And next time, you guys are going to be live with me. It'll be great. It'll be great. Be cool. Semper Fi. Godspeed.